First of all, let's establish what dopamine is. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that your body uses to communicate between your nerve cells. I have no clue what that means, but practically it works like this. You have what it's called your dopamine baseline. This is the average amount of dopamine that you have, and it generally represents how well you feel each day. Every time you do something, there is either a spike or a decrease in dopamine. This system is put in place so that humans are motivated to hunt for food, reproduce, and eat. These are all healthy things that everyone should be doing, so where does this idea of a dopamine detox come from? The idea of a dopamine detox comes from the unhealthy things that release dopamine. Things like porn, masturbation, video games, TV, social media, these are all bad habits that trigger the dopamine release. What happens when you indulge in these kinds of activities is you get instant gratification. Your dopamine spikes significantly and then dips even further down. What happens in the long term is lowering of your baseline, which makes you feel worse in your day-to-day life. As well as that, this makes these things incredibly addictive. Take two things, a chocolate and a carrot. Which one is more healthy? If you're not extremely retarded, you will say carrot. But if you were presented with these two choices on the table, which one would you pick? Of course it would be the chocolate, and that is because of the dopamine release. Studies shown that eating chocolate increases your dopamine by 1.5 times. However, the dopamine system is not designed to distinguish between what is healthy and what is not. It is designed to crave dopamine. So when you do something that is instant gratification, such as eating the chocolate bar, your brain will take a note of that and create sort of a map that it can follow the next time it craves dopamine. So the next day when your brain craves dopamine, it goes back to yesterday and looks at what gave me dopamine back then. And because it remembers that it was chocolate, it will naturally gravitate towards eating chocolate. This is how addictions are built, and it is extremely hard to break them because of the strong wiring throughout the years. It is a vicious cycle that if you want to be happy long term, you have to break away from. Addressing your problems is the number one thing you have to do. You have to write down every single instant gratification thing that you feel like it's keeping you from being motivated about what actually matters in life. These are the things that you're gonna be detoxing from, not for 24 hours, but for weeks or months. And I know this might seem like it's pretty painful and like you won't be able to make it, but think of a heroin addict. I'm guessing most of you watching this are not heroin addicts, but if you are, then think of something else. A heroin addict will feel the same way that you feel about your instant gratification thing. He will feel like quitting heroin is extremely hard. But for you, as someone who doesn't use heroin on a regular basis, probably doesn't feel hard not to use it. Because you're not in the cycle of using heroin and feeling good, then feeling bad, and then using it again, you don't feel the need to do it. And it is the same with any other addiction that you're trying to break away from. So that is your proof that you don't actually need any of these things. At this point, your dopamine receptors are probably fried as fuck. So when you stop doing these things, you'll feel like shit. But over time, your brain will start to adapt itself, and things like doing homework will feel as pleasurable as your instant gratification activity. The second step to this is finding some replacements. Because you're cutting away the things that you do probably most of the day, you're gonna find that you have a lot of free time. So you have to find something healthy and beneficial for you in the long term that you will replace these things with. It is likely that if you're watching a video like this, you already know what this thing is. Maybe you just haven't decided yet, and this is the thing that was bothering me the most, and that's why I made another video about this, which I will link up here. Not only will you get a lot of things done during this period, but your brain will slowly start to rewire itself into being motivated to do those things. Because you're not getting the often referred to as the dopamine hits from instant gratification, but from these things that you find as your replacements, your brain will be naturally more drawn to them and it will be motivated to do them. This is the key, and it's the secret to being motivated about your goals and your purpose. Also, what you will find after destimulating your brain is increase in your dopamine baseline. If you want to learn about YouTube addiction and why watching videos like this is actually harmful, watch this video next where I show you exactly that.